All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
It's your brother Quashab
Brother Kalaya.
from the Great Millstone New Orleans camp. Coming at you with a quick lesson, and Lord willing to be edified. But before we get started, I want to give our praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and rule well. Shalom, my Barakim, Labacharim. All right, which is peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. And those that believe in the gospel, may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right, and we're just gonna get into the lesson, man. Just basically predicated on, right, the Lord is only dealing with, the righteous fruits, all right, because, I was listening to Apostle Hall, speak on, different history and things and how, certain men have went certain ways, all right, and other men have went different ways, all right, and it just reminded me of how that, as it says in what's that, Mark 8:24, that men, all right, are people, are trees, in which, these trees ultimately bear fruit. All right. Now here, just to put it in a little context for you, all right, here at Great Millstone, all right, we are the, all the way down to the youngest man, we are fruits of who? All right, our elders, all right, different heads of, the camps, right, different brothers that's over you, right? We are fruits of them, right? We are fruits from the apostles all the way down to the youngest man, you see? But it's going to come a day, all right, where the Lord is going to come and pick the fruits that he's been dealing with, man, all right? And it ain't going to be no ifs, ands, or buts, all right? The Lord is going to pick those fruits. Matter of fact, start me off with that second Esdras.
Oh, you know I was coming.
Oh, kind.
Come on, man.
Kind. You got it.
It's the book of Second Esdras, chapter 9 and 20. And it reads, it says, "So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that will come into it. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people."
Right. Keep going.
"Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect."
Right. All right. It says he saw and spared it greatly, and have kept him a grape of the cluster. All right. And what this is synonymous with, all right, is called being handpicked. All right. You use a whole cluster of grapes, right? You get a cluster of grapes, they got 15, 20 grapes on there, but you only pick the grapes. Oh, this one look perfect, right? This one is withering a little bit. I don't want that one. You hand picking those grapes, all right? And that's what the Lord has done with his men, all right? These men that you see out prophesying on the highways and byways, all right? Some of them are hand picked by the Lord, all right? And some of them aren't, you see? All right, and tall tale signs, okay, in which we're going to get into what the fruit actually is, but it's beautiful that precept came out first, all right, because we're going to see, all right, with that grape that the Lord wanted, all right, to be spared versus the grapes, the cluster of grapes that's just going to, get tossed in the trash, man,
Now, if I could say, it said, back in that verse 22, it says, "For with great labor have I made it perfect." Right? With great labor have the Lord made, right, his elect perfect. You see? Complete. Ultimately, he's putting so much work into the elect, right? Going into your afflictions, right? The things that in which we get challenged with on a daily basis, okay, to make us perfect, man. You're not going through these different trials and tribulations for nothing. All right? It's ultimately to make you to the place in which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua deems you perfect, but you got it, all right?
Yeah. Let me get that
Matthew.
That Bible,
Okay.
That commentary I had sent you.
And I wanted to say this too. So like I forgot to say it. When you go into husbandry, right?
Yeah.
When you put in great labor into a plant, all right, you might have a specific plant in which you've been anxious, to see the fruit of it, begin to bud, things of that nature. Man, you put your efforts, your 100% effort, your 144% effort into it. Right. And that's what the Lord has done with the elect. All right, ultimately, the 144,000, man. You know.
Yeah.
All right. This is from BibleHub.com. All right, and we're gonna be reading Matthew the 7th chapter and 16th verse. All right,
Read the little top part on who the commentary.
Yeah, it says Bengals Nomen. All right. It says the fruit is that which a man like a tree puts forth from the good or evil disposition which pervades the whole of his inward being, learning compelled from every quarter and combined with language does not does not constitute fruit, which consists of all that which the teacher puts forth from his heart in his language and conduct as something flowing from his inner being like milk.
You see that? Read that part again.
It says
spoke about the language and the conduct.
Yeah, it says that which a teacher puts forth from his heart in his language and conduct as something flowing from his inner being like milk, which the mother gives from her own breast.
Right. So a part of your fruits is read that part again. It said language and what?
It says in his language and conduct.
Right, in your language and your conduct, man. All right, the way you conduct yourself off camera,
That's
the way
right.
that you teach, the way that you speak on camera. Both of these things are a part of your fruit, okay? The type of things that you say, the way that you impact, all right, brothers that's listening, learning, all right, coming up in the truth, trying to come up on a level, trying to better themselves, you know, to be a man of the Lord, okay? Your conduct, the way that you carry yourself, man, all right? The way that you act. It tells you in Hebrews to put on, therefore, as the elect, man,
That's right.
all right? Your behavior, anastrophe, all right? These are parts of the fruits of the Lord, okay? And it's beautiful because Elder Ariala going into a series right now, right, with the fruits of the Spirit, you know? Going into joy, peace, love, these qualities and things that you need in order to consider yourself a man of the Lord, man. You see? But it all starts with what? Your conduct, okay? Because you have guys acting different ways, certain ways, all right? But here at Great Millstone, we were taught to act and behave as what? As in a humble manner, all right?
That's right.
Taking on a form, all right, in which Yahushua is always the staple of our ministry, man, all right? In all of the letters of Apostle Paul, all right, the Old, the New Testament, the whole volume of the book, man, all right? From the elders, apostles on down, we wasn't taught to pick and choose which parts of the Bible that we are not and not going to use and going to use. Right. You see, we use the volume of the book, man, all right? But that's part of what? The fruits from the apostles, man. Okay. You see? There's more?
For that particular one, no.
You
want me to jump to this next?
Yeah, you can finish them out.
All right.
Then we gonna get that I'm gonna read this Matthew 7.
All right. This is I believe this is in the same thing, right?
Yeah. It's all okay. The same under whatever Benon, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know.
Bengals Nomen.
Bengals Nomen. Yeah.
All right. So jumping down, and this is in reference to Matthew 7:26. It says, "It is not his speech alone which constitutes the true or the false prophet, but his whole method of leading himself."
It is not the what alone?
It says, "It is not his speech alone."
Right. So you can't be wooed by how men speak.
Right.
You know, you have, like the elders say all the time, you got men that, could call precepts out of the back of their mind on whatever subject that a man is speaking on. You can't be wooed by that, Go ahead.
Yeah, if I could say just because he sounds like a prophet.
Right.
Because they have men who actually practice to do that, but really are niggas, But continuing on, it says, I'm going to read it again. "It is not his speech alone which constitutes the truth or false prophet, but his whole method of leading himself and others with him."
Right. So your whole anastrophe, the way that you teach, right? The way that you allow brothers to behave, right? And we're not saying that like it's a brothers are being lording over or parenting men, all right? We was just saying it in a way of an example that you're setting to show how men should behave, right? These are all parts of of your fruit, man. You see, it's more than just teaching, right? It's more than just getting on a live lesson, all right? It's a lot of things, intricate things that go on behind the scenes, man. You know? What you got? They got more?
Yeah. It says, and real quick, if I could say, because, you know, when we get these different orders that come down from the apostles, it's not like this brother say, just because they want to lord over, or even, you know, in your own camp, right? The different orders and decrees that come down, it's not to be lorded over, but it's to keep us in line with the how did it say? The whole method of leading. You see?
Right.
We have a strict program over here at Great Millstone. And when I say strict, it's not, you know, you step out of line, you know, you gone type deal. Now we deal with you know, we deal how we deal here in the inner workings of things, man. We deal with mercy and things of that nature, but we do have a program in which we follow, man.
Right.
You know, it's a way to do things according to the scriptures, and that's the way we deal.
Yeah. And we deal the closest way as Yahushua would have dealt.
That's right.
When he was walking the planet Earth, man. You know? Which is how you know who the true men of the Lord are. All right. Who's the Lord really dealing with, man. You know?
And quick disclaimer, when I say program, that's just a figure of speech.
Yeah,
all right. Just to put that fucking out there.
Jacob,
take that shit for.
Yeah.
Simple minded. But it says, but his whole method of leading himself and others with him by the one or the other road or gate to life or death.
Right. So I'm gonna read this real quick. This Matthew 7:16. It says, "Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes or thorns or figs or thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth an evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit." You see, so you can't, if you are sincere, right? If you've been teaching sound doctrine, if you've been teaching the same thing, right, for years and years to come, and your doctrine doesn't change this, right, and it brings forth what? Other good fruits, man. All right. But you have men that are changing doctrines, right? Men that are going off, you know, not keeping the high holy days correctly. Right. You see, well, these are corrupt trees bringing forth evil fruits, man. You see, because you have men, women, all right, that are snared and trapped, you know. As it say, like, what it say? Laid in the way silly, man. You know, in Timothy. You know, and this is what a corrupt tree does. It brings forth evil fruit. You see, getting the ministry blame,
right?
These different things, all right? But when you have a good tree, it brings forth what? That good fruit, man, you know? And when it starts at the top, all right, or at the root, okay, that's the foundation, you know? But when that branch starts to sprout up and it grows out other branches, all right, and the leaves start to come, it turns into a beautiful tree, man, all right? And what we're telling you is that's the tree that the Lord is coming back to pick the fruits from. You see? As it tells you, the harvest is ripe.
It's right.
You see? Right. The harvest is ripe, man. All right? And it's going to be a time where the Lord is coming back and get that harvest, you know? Some He's going to put in his basket, was me speaking metaphorically of being saved, all right? And a lot more, He just going to cut them off the tree, man. You know?
It's going to say that too. Going further down, man.
Yep. I'm going to read it. Verse 19, it says, "Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them." All right? And your fruit is ultimately going to be your reputation, man.
That's right.
All right? Now, when you start with the apostles on down, you look at their reputation, all right? The men under their reputation, all right? All the way down to the youngest man, right? We're all on one accord. We're all in one spirit, okay? But when you look at these other camps, everybody's not in the same spirit, man. You see? You want to say something?
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like, say you running an automobile shop. Oh, I need my automobile, fixed or whatever. I'm gonna go to the shop in which has a good reputation, right? You can visibly see, people going in and out daily, and things like that. Right. You see the cars, they work. They don't have to keep getting worked on and shit like that. That's the place I'm gonna go to because the reputation speaks for itself. All right, and here at Great Millstone, hey, you have multiple camps all over the four corners of the earth, man. Right, teaching and preaching the word, with grace. Okay, these other camps, yeah, they all over, but majority of those dudes don't even know what the hell they're doing, man.
Right.
Don't know how to break the precepts down, right? No breakdowns at all. Okay. So, it shouldn't be hard for you to, like the elder always said, when you have a new guy coming into the truth and he's inquiring, all right, about the different camps and things of that nature, line them all up and then you decide yourself, okay? And you should know by their fruits, man. But you got it. I still got more in that other one.
Okay, you can finish that out.
Right. This pursuant to Matthew 5:10.
That's the last one, right?
Yeah, that's the last one. It says, the fruits indeed are the tokens or evidence of the truth or falsehood of the prophet.
You see? Wherefore ye shall know them by their fruits, man.
That's right.
All right, by the evidence, by the tokens, right? The things that we speak and say, will they come to pass? You see? The conduct, the way that we are telling you to behave, to be humble, to take on the form of as it said about Yahushua, take on the form of no reputation, laying not up for yourselves treasures on earth. Right. These are the tokens that we, are taught and are taught to tell you. You see, because there's a point you made. Some guys can't even go out and teach.
God,
you've been in the truth 10 years and you can't even teach.
You can't break down Gentiles.
Yeah.
You can't break down the diaspora. These are real things too, though.
Yeah. They
just wooed by, like you said, a guy who sounds like a prophet or looks like a prophet.
Yeah.
Whatever that means,
Right. But you got more? That was it?
Yeah, they got more.
Okay.
It says, and therefore also the doctrine set forth by the prophet. The doctrine therefore is not the fruit by which the prophet is known, but it is the form of the true or false prophet which constitutes him, the one or the other, and itself known from its fruits.
Right, and that's why I said ye shall know them by their fruits. All right. It's not the prophet himself, all right? Yeah. But it's other things that plays into the role of what your fruit is, you see? And a big part of it is the doctrine, right? I'm going to keep saying it, your behavior, your anastrophe, and other things, man. All of these things are a representation of your fruit, all right? The things that you bring into the table, the things that you bring into the ministry, man. All right? You bring in trouble, right? You all these different things you bring into the ministry, right? Well, the fruit that you're bringing is not what we do here.
Right.
You have to bring that fruit somewhere else, man. You got it.
And that's why well-seasoned men, I'm pretty sure you remember this when we was, on Quran Delect, but well-seasoned men like, Elder Yakana, he would see a guy and he would know, oh, that guy, he used to listen to Sakari, all right? Or that guy, he used to listen to, ISUPK, whatever the case may be. He can tell by, they're a fruit of wherever they come from.
Exactly.
And he can tell just by looking at him.
Yeah.
All right, or just by the first word that come out of his mouth. Because they are an example of what they, the tree they come from, man.
Yeah, even the Christians.
Even that.
With the Christian world and the different things, they start to say things like, oh, we understand where you a fruit from.
Right.
But I'm going to grab this real quick. This Luke chapter 3, verse 8. You going to hold that, Wisdom of Solomon 4. Excuse me. 4 and 5. Hold that one down for me. This is Luke chapter 3, verse 8. It says, bring forth therefore fruits worthy of repentance, and begin not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you, that power is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. In every tree, therefore, which bringeth not forth good fruit, is hewn down and cast into the fire. You see? And so that's what we about, man. Bringing forth fruits that's worthy to repentance, all right? That's worthy to receive that godly sorrow, you see? We're not bringing forth fruit that's just, you know, in this thing just to continue to be in the world, all right? To continue laying up treasures in the world. You know, we bringing forth fruits that's wholeheartedly going to trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, all right? That's going to believe and have faith, you see? Because if you're not a good fruit, it says you're going to be hewn down and cast into the fire, man. You know? You got it.
Which is ultimately those nuclear missiles, man, those ICBMs, you know? Just wanted to say that too. Because they missile food, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Missile food. I got that wisdom.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and 4 and 5, huh? Go down to 5.
Yeah.
Con. It says, for though they flourish in the branches for a time, yet standing not fast, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of the winds they shall be rooted out.
Right, and which, you know, you read the top of this chapter, it's actually talking about children, you know, and what your children are what? They are the fruits, all right, of your seed, man.
That's right.
You see? Go ahead.
Nah, that's heavy because I was gonna mention that earlier, but we went back into the you know, that little Bible hub thing. You could tell the tree of a badass kid, man. You could tell because he's a product of that tree. He's the fruit of that tree. But when you see a kid that's respectful, you know, have manners, right? Nice vocabulary. You understand? He come from a good stock. He come from a good tree, man.
That's a good point.
But verse 5, it says, the imperfect branches shall be broken off.
Right. So just like the scriptures say, if you got a rebellious child, what you supposed to do to him, you know?
Yeah.
But just like that scripture said, it's saying the same thing right here. The imperfect branches shall be broken off. Because why? Go ahead.
It says their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing.
Yeah, these fruits are meat for nothing. The purpose that you had to be a fruit on a tree was to become ripe, right? To become tasty, you know, and give the body of who's eating the fruit the proper nutrients or hydration that it needs, right? But if a fruit can't do that, what purpose does it serve to me? You see? In the same way, the same thing is how the Lord feel about the righteous and the unrighteous fruits, man. You know?
That's why I said, you know, back in that second Ezra, they were born in vain.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, it was born without a purpose, man. You know? You got anything?
No, that pretty much was it that I had.
I'm gonna end it off with James, unless you got something else. It's James 3. And 17, it says, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. Right, this is why I mentioned the Elder Ariella, you know, with the fruits of the Spirit, you know, because he just went in one a day, you know, going into the fruits being peaceable, you know, because peace is the center of our ministry, right? The first thing we say to each other is shalom, man, you know, which means peace unto you, you know. But the point was easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy, you know, meaning without the bullshit.
That's right.
You see, verse 18, it says, and the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. You see? And where's Yahushua? With one of his titles, the King of Peace, man.
Peace, man.
You know, the King of Salem, man. And he's gonna bring forth that peace to those righteous fruits, man. You see? But you got anything?
No, I was looking at something.
Bring it on, whatever you got.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
I wanted to get this in NLT.
The James.
Yeah, it's cool though. That was pretty much the point. 25. God, time we moving. Yeah, man. You want any closing points?
Nah, that's it.
Yeah, man. So, that's pretty much the point of this lesson, man. All right, and that, at the end of the day, right, the Lord is getting ready to hew down and cast in the fire those fruits that ain't right. All right, those fruits that ain't bringing forth yieldable seed. All right, that's not producing what it needs to produce. All right, and He's ultimately getting ready to handpick the fruits that He wants, man. So with that, we're gonna give our praises, glory, and infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Chakodash, and double honors once again to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Till next time, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.